friends, I'm Elizabeth Ryder, and today I am going to show you how to shred a cabbage for your slaw salads. So the most important thing that you have when you're going to shred a cabbage is a really sharp knife. So there are a lot of gizmos and gadgets, and you can use a food processor, but I like to use the least amount of dishes possible when I'm cooking, so I like to just use a sharp knife and a cutting board. This is a ceramic knife, but you can of course use a stainless steel knife. Just make sure you have a really sharp chef's knife. And if you're finding that you have to really jam your knife in or press down really hard, that means your knife is not sharp enough. If you have the stainless steel knives, you should have them sharpened about once a year. So just go to your kitchen store, wherever you can find locally, and they can sharpen your knives for really inexpensive. So let's get started. Okay, you guys, so the first thing I want you to do is find the root end of your cabbage, and that's where the knob is that's holding the whole thing together. And carefully with your very sharp knife, I'm going to cut straight down the middle of this root end. And we're actually going to quarter this cabbage to make it easier to shred. So now I have 2 halves. And that's why it's also really important to have sharp knives, so it's easier. And you're actually less likely to cut yourself with a sharp knife too. Now I have 4 quarters, and to core it, what I'm gonna do is just take my knife and at a diagonal, see how this is really sturdy? I'm just going to slice out that root, because it's really tough and the texture isn't great. But this is all still held together. So keeping my fingers back, I'm gonna take my really sharp knife and just very gently cut through the cabbage. And this is where you guys can make this as thick or thin as you want. But it's important when you're cutting, see how I have my hand on top? And I keep my fingers back. If I keep my hands down and I start cutting, I might cut my finger. So keep your fingers back. And if you're brand new to this, you guys, just go really slow. You will get faster as you practice. And this is a really easy thing to do. Now once I get to about here, this gets a little unstable, so I'm just going to pull it back and tip it forward, and then I can finish shredding it from there. Now this cabbage might feel a little long, you guys, for a salad, so I might just do a couple of quick chops right through the center, and then stick that right into my bowl. If you have a big chunk like this, you can just discard it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to show you this with the red cabbage too, just so you can see the contrast. I like to mix my cabbage colors when I'm making slaw just because it's pretty, but red cabbage and yellow cabbage are equally as good for you. Okay, so we find that root end, so stick those halves down and cut them into halves, so now we have quarters. Alright, so we cut the core out, and then with our sharp knife, just do really small cuts. It doesn't have to be perfect. It won't all be uniform, that's okay. And then remember to tip it forward, and it's a lot more stable. From here, I would just give it a quick rinse, you guys, and then I can use it in any of my recipes.